Deven Choksey is still with us. Deven, I wanted your thoughts on SBI because the numbers are coming out tomorrow. And this is not going to be such a great quarter. At least the street is anticipating a slow NII growth, although the margins can improve. But overall for the industry, right? I mean, PSU banks have come back in a big way. The stock is at a 52-week high going into the results. Even if there is a slight disappointment, would you use it as an opportunity to buy into SBI?
In fact, Sonia, I would think that the numbers could possibly be, I think, much on the stronger side for SBI, largely because of few reasons. One, on one side, I think the corporate loan book has been expanding, and this is true for most of the larger banks, and SBI is not, I think, exceptional out of it. I think they are equally, I think, covered in that part. The working capital as well as term loan side of the business, I think, has been expanding at the rate of around 15-16% in many of the cases. So from that point of view, I think the size of SBI could possibly, I think, surprise us on the better side of the business. The other part of the activity, the retail credit growth has remained systematically on a stronger wicket, I think, as far as I think the business of the most of the lenders are concerned. And I think, again, SBI would probably have relatively better times. Given the fact that the liability side is well managed by most of these banks, and given the fact that I think in the rising interest rate scenario, they have relatively better opportunity to make margins, I would think that I think the profitability also would remain relatively on a stronger side. So overall, I think I don't know completely whether I think we are fully justified to look at the businesses on a quarter-to-quarter basis. But overall, I think in this second half of the financial year, we are likely to see much sharper growth in the lending businesses, and particularly the larger banks would be benefited out of it.
All right, Deven, I wanted to ask you about some of these electrical consumer durables companies. Voltas was a disappointment; they lost some market share out there. Orient Electric, far smaller out there, but the numbers look very, very disappointing. I'm looking at a sharp margin compression as well out there. Any view on this space, the electric consumer durables companies?
Well, I think different views. Voltas, of course, I think they had to write off in that particular project overseas, and that's the reason for which the loss that they have incurred, apart from some amount of loss in the market share, which I believe they have the potential to bounce back. Look at the Blue Star's result. I think they are basically more convincing. So if you look at the domestic players and within that some of the larger ones, I think like Blue Star could possibly be suggesting that the business is intact and could possibly grow faster in the second half. Of course, I think in this particular line of activity too, on a quarter-over-quarter basis, I think the business could be disappointing also at the same time, because I think if the June-ended quarter had the influence of summers, definitely in the September-ended quarter, I think that influence is not seen. But going forward, once again, January to March quarter and March to April to June quarter, once again, I think you should be seeing higher amount of growth coming in. So from my way of looking at this particular business, yes, the business remains absolutely on a stronger wicket, given the kind of a growth that we are seeing in our economy. Also being endorsed by most of the retail lenders who are basically systematically lending higher to this particular segment of white goods and consumer electronics. So from that point of view too, I believe that I think these companies would probably relatively show better performance. One of could be, I think, the situation in some of the cases in the last quarter result I would like to do.
Okay, all right. Deven, we'll take a very quick break here. Let's just, if we can put up the Asian market pack briefly, and then I'll take that break. The entire China theme is continuing to do well. We pointed out how Hang Seng is doing, but even onshore markets, the Hang Seng index is up 4.6, so it's turning out to be a solid week. But Shanghai Composite, the Shenzhen, those markets are also up 1.5%. The rumors of China reopening were quashed officially by Chinese officials, but the market is not taking note. So maybe we should keep an eye on what may come out of there. It's a market where, beyond a point, it's difficult to tell, which direction things are going to take. But prices are telling us something else, and that may be significant, especially for commodities, etc. We'll take a very quick break here. We are back with the pre-opening levels. Also, we have the management of UCO Bank. That's another PSU bank which has reported a decent set. Used to be the most stressed PSU bank name. That conversation follows in just a bit.